The Battlefield 6 beta number 2 has started, and this comes with the addition of Rush to the game. We all know that Rush is a heavily anticipated mode for Battlefield 6 because it is one of the biggest and most important modes in Battlefield. People have fond memories playing Rush back in BC2 and Battlefield 3 and all the other games. Previous titles like Battlefield 5 and 2042 just kind of butchered the Rush game mode, 2042 particularly, with people making deranged experiences such as 128-player Rush, which should be considered some sort of crime. But I would argue that Rush really hasn't been that great since Battlefield 3, and I think a lot of people were hoping Battlefield 6's iteration of Rush would be a bit of a return to form for the mode and give people that itch that they have been hoping for, well, ever since Battlefield 3. I got news for you guys. Yeah, we didn't get that. So we're going to talk about Battlefield 6's Rush mode, what's wrong with it, why the community sentiment around it has been apocalyptic, and what are some possible additions/changes we could make to this mode that would improve it a little bit. If you want to follow Battlefield 6, this is the channel for you. Just want to thank you guys immensely for everything you have done during the Battlefield 6 beta. You guys are insane. The support has been unprecedented. If you do want to follow Battlefield 6, though, hit that sub button. Going to be covering the game in its entirety. Hit the like button, and of course, let me know what you think about this Rush game mode if you've played it. The first thing I'll say about this Rush mode is actually something positive. I really like that they brought back the original Battlefield 3 MCOM alarm sound. That's great. Does give me nostalgia just hearing that sound, and I think that is definitely the direction they should have taken. However, everything else about this is going to be questionable at best. I will start off by saying that I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I saw some people saying this is worse than Battlefield 2042 Rush, this is the worst game mode they've ever played, and basically just doom posting. I would ignore that. I definitely enjoyed it. It just wasn't the greatest experience I've ever had. And it certainly doesn't come close to previous iterations of Rush, such as Battlefield 3. And this is my first point. Battlefield 3's Rush will never be touched again. And it's for one very simple reason. Rush in Battlefield 3 had, I think, some maps specifically designed for it, whereas in Battlefield 6, you don't have that. In Battlefield 6, DICE is just trying to accommodate existing maps to fit the Rush game mode, whereas in Battlefield 3, you had some maps that were specifically designed with Rush in mind. And that one thing right there is the reason why Rush has sucked for such a long time in the Battlefield franchise. And this isn't rocket science, right? Nobody's surprised about this. Of course, Rush in Battlefield 3 is going to be more of an amazing experience because you're playing maps that are tailored to this specific mode, so of course they're going to play better. It's just a shame that they're most likely not going to return to that specific map, specific mode, tailored experience. Another big community complaint that I saw was the fact that this Rush was only 12v12, and I have to be honest, it really didn't bother me at all. I still felt the game mode had enough action. I never felt as though I was searching around the map for players to fight. I do think the decision to go with 12v12 was a conscious decision made by DICE considering the map layouts and sizes of the maps we have currently. However, I do think 16v16 would have also played just fine. Anything over 16v16, given the current map layouts, would have been a nightmare in my opinion. I saw some people complaining that they wanted 64-player Rush, and I just have to be honest, guys, it would have played fucking horrifically, okay? Particularly on the new map, Empire State, which is a bit of a clusterfuck even with 12v12 in some situations. Now, when it comes to the map layouts in particular for this Rush mode, one thing that I noticed quite a lot was the MCOM placements. There would be one MCOM, let's say, on the left side of the sector, and then 2 feet down the road, right, is the other MCOM. And you could just run between them, and you might even see me do it in the background gameplay, and arm both of them. And then, the other nightmarish thing is sometimes the defender spawn is 10 feet away from the MCOMs, so you kill their whole team, and then they respawn, and they're right next to it once again. It felt crowded, it felt kind of lazy in my opinion, but this is undoubtedly a side effect of having to adapt existing maps to fit the Rush game mode. Sometimes the given map is heavily restrictive in terms of how you can actually implement a linear game mode like Rush. Sometimes on any given map, there may be only one way to set up that linear game mode that makes any sort of sense on the map, and it might not even be that good. And that is exactly what we're seeing in this BF6 Rush mode right now, and that is what we've seen again in Battlefield 2042, but to an even worse degree. A bit of a niche complaint here, but in my opinion, this is super important. Comment down below, did you lose a game while the MCOM was still armed because there's no overtime? Now, please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about there being no overtime, as I did see a couple people say, Enders, there is overtime. But I don't know, dude. I have armed objectives, right? And we run out of tickets, and then the game simply ends. In my opinion, there should be some kind of overtime that kicks in if there isn't any implemented in the game, because, dude, I just fucking killed like 6 people, armed the objective, and if this is the last objective we need to win, there should be a chance for that MCOM to explode. Where's the suspense? Where's the sense of urgency? Where's the fucking Hail Mary last second MCOM defuse plays? So I'm really not sure if there is overtime in the game and I just got a bug and it didn't activate, or there isn't overtime in the game. Either way, there should absolutely be overtime in this mode. I think it adds so much to Rush. I think that would be just great. And the last kind of sad point that I'll make in this video is I just truly don't believe that Rush will ever be as good as people remember it in previous titles. I don't think they're going to be able to adapt these existing maps to fit the Rush game mode and achieve the same level of enjoyment. Does that mean Rush is completely unplayable or unenjoyable in Battlefield 6? No, absolutely not. I think there are some fairly obvious things that I pointed out in this video that they could, make changes to that would improve the experience. I just don't think we're going to get, BF3 Grand Bazaar Rush back. So that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other suggestions or maybe some things that I missed about the Rush mode, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm going to be reading comments on this video very intently because I know this mode is super important to people, and people really had, I think, high hopes for it. If you want to follow Battlefield 6, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and of course swing by a stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. Again, thank you guys so much for the amazing support you've shown me this month during the Battlefield 6 beta. I am, for once, actually excited for a Battlefield game to release, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to do for the 2 months that we have to wait.